So we're going to start lying down. So if you do have your strap handy, because we're not going to be getting back up again, just have your strap handy. You're going to lie down, place the soles of your feet onto the mat so that your knees are facing up towards the ceiling. You're just going to shimmy your hips slightly over to the right, drop your knees over to the left. We're just coming into a supine twist. Now if this is too much for the start of class, you're welcome to place a block, just the outside edge of your left knee, or even a block in between your knees. Opening your hands out to the side and then just letting your gaze fall wherever is comfortable for you. Just taking a couple of big sighs. Just with every exhale, just letting something go, physically or mentally. Knowing that there's no expectations of you on your mat today. When I used to teach face to face, I'd often say to people, if you come to your mat today and you want to just chill in child's pose for an hour, you obviously can. So the mat is there for you and nobody else. So just make sure that you have that in your mind as you're practicing today. If you wish, you can start counting your inhales and your exhales. Maybe with every round of breath, they're getting a little bit longer. And your breath shouldn't just increase in length, but it should increase in volume, so feeling it expand through your body more. Gradually feeling that breath working all the way down your torso and into your limbs, into your fingers and your toes. And in your next inhale, just engaging your core a little bit. You're just going to bring your knees up through to center. And then we're just going to bring the soles of our feet together and then just drop our knees out to the side, keeping our hands just as they are in this T shape. Making your legs really heavy. Your hips are weighted down into the mat. Belly's nice and soft. And then we're going to bring our knees back up to touch in the middle and then shimmy our hips over to the left and then twisting this time our knees over to the right. Just gazing wherever your neck wants to go. Again, if this is too tight, you can place a block in between your knees or just to the outside edge of your right knee there. Keeping that counting with your breaths. Making sure your breathing is comfortable. You don't want to be breathing for so long that you're struggling for breath at the top of your inhale. The breathing should be nice and fluid. The transition from an inhale to an exhale should almost be seamless. Allowing your breath to go into your tummy and up and expanding your ribs. Then in your next inhale, just bringing your knees back through to center. And you're going to keep your left foot planted on the earth. Just have your strap nice and handy. We're going to reach our right foot up to the sky and we're going to flex our toes. And think about your femur bone being super heavy here, so really sinking that right hip down. And then if you have a strap, you're just going to loop it over the arch of your right foot, just grabbing either side of the strap. And keeping that hip really heavy. Maybe your strap just guides your foot so that your knee is just coming slightly closer to the chest. Now if your right hip starts to lift off the mat, just back out of it a little bit. We want our pelvis to be super grounded into the mat here. And if it's comfortable for you, maybe stretch out that left leg. You might need to back out of your right leg a little bit, but as long as you're feeling a nice opening in the back of your right leg, and you can have a bend in your knee here. Just inviting some attention into our hamstrings, into our calves, and into our feet. Having that slight motion of our outer hips hugging in. You straightened your left leg, just planting your foot down and then just taking the strap away from the sole of your right foot. Swapping up, left foot comes up. So when you think about bringing your left foot up, thinking about that hip being super heavy, even bringing your hand to your left hip, making sure it doesn't move. And then looping the strap over your foot. If you don't have a strap, just looping the fingers behind the quads. And then once you feel you've got the stability in your hips, maybe just letting that foot drift towards the back of your mat while keeping the pelvis grounded. And then if you wish, straightening out your right leg, just honouring that it might not feel as open as it did on the other side. And if you do straighten out your right leg and you feel like it's compromising your left leg too much, just rebend it. Taking one more breath there. And if you straighten your right leg, just rebend it and then take the strap away from your left foot. We're just going to hug our knees in towards our chest. And we're just going to do circles with our ankles here. So just circling them away from one another, spreading your toes really wide. So bringing your toes towards your shins, then pushing them away, and then circling away from one another. It's just changing up direction. You might feel your quads tighten and relax. And then just rocking and rolling a couple of times, just to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position, and you can just set your strap away. We'll be using it again in class today. And just come to a comfortable seat. So if you want to sit on a block or a blanket, you can. It's a lovely noise there. Get myself on the block. We're just going to bring our right arm up overhead, bending our right elbow, placing our right hand in between our shoulders, left hand onto our elbow, and we're just going to start to lean out to the left hand side, really grounding that right hip down. So we want to find space all along our side body. So it's going to be really important in class today that we find this length through our waist and our side, and we keep that with us. So we just want to open it up, bring some awareness to it. And then swapping it up, left hand going in between our shoulder blades, right hand on top of the elbow. And if you can come into the bind, don't come into the bind for this, because we want our focus to be on stretching the side body, not necessarily getting into the shoulders. So as we move our shoulder and our hips away, our body just finds that length. So keeping that idea of our hips and our shoulders moving away from one another. And then coming through the center, we're just going to place our right hand off to the right hand side, left hand onto our knee. We're just going to sit here for a little second, we aren't stretching into it just yet, we're just coming into a really light twist, so nothing active just yet. Just letting our low back explore the position we're putting it in. And coming through the center, right hand onto our left leg, left hand sets down. Like I said, we're not pulling our body around just yet. And then coming through the center. This time we're going to be more active with that. So right hand comes to the ground, left hand comes to your knee. And we come into our twist, we want to pull our low tummy up, lift our chest up, broaden through our shoulders. So we want to think about shutting our shoulders away from one another. Gaze is just wherever's comfortable, lifting from the hips, and then on our exhale, that's when we twist round. It's really important that left hip stays grounded down. Keeping our shoulders away from our ears, collarbones are wide. And then coming through the center and then the other side. So just place your hands down just as if we came into the twist beforehand. And then we're going to think about tummy up, chest up, shoulders apart. And then we're going to twist into on our exhale. Keeping the sides of our waist nice and long. And then exhale, we're going to come through the center. If you're sitting on a block, just come off your block and have your block, or if you're using a book handy, we're just going to straighten our left leg out. Right foot's going to come to the inner seam of our left leg. We're going to bring our block into our left hand. We're just going to T-shape our arms here. So thinking about rooting those hips down, lifting your chest up, shoulders nice and wide. We're going to come into just a side stretch here, but I want you to reach your left block as far as you can, keeping that left waist nice and long, and then once you've reached as far as you can, place that block down the left hand side, and just reach your right hand up here. So focusing on stretching out to the left, we'll try not to crinkle up our left waist. Really heavy with the right hip bone. And then grabbing onto that block, coming back up to center, then swapping it up, right leg out, left foot in. Block is going to go in our right hand this time. Even looking at the block, reach it as far as you can while keeping that lovely length along our right hand side, and then placing the block down. And left hand can just do whatever it wants. If you want to just set it down your leg, you can. If you want to be active through your hands, through your left hand to wake them up, you can too. Thinking about sending that chest up towards the left hand side. Then grabbing your block, coming back through center, just setting your block just to the top of your mat. We're just going to roll over our ankles here, just come to a forward fold. Then pushing our feet into the ground, just rise it up. So we're going to bring a bit of attention into our feet. So we want our feet to be directly under our hips. So in order to find that, you might want to jump up and down a couple of times so your feet land directly under your hips. And we're going to pick up all 10 toes. So we're grounding into the ball of our feet and our heel. And then spreading our toes really wide, we're going to place our pinky toes onto the mat. Then we're going to place what we call our ring toes. Then we're going to place our middle, our index, keep trying to lift just your big toes off the ground, and then place your big toes onto the ground. So feet are really sprayed out here. And we're just going to rock back and forth a couple of times. So feel that weight distribution in your feet. Maybe rock from side to side. So feeling all the little tiny muscles in your feet working. And then you're going to come to a forward fold here. So keeping that action with your feet, you're going to imagine that there's suction cups at the soles of your feet. You're going to suck those suction cups up. Lighting up the inside of your legs, pushing into your feet, grounding down. Inhale to rise it up. Think about your inner thighs spiraling behind you, chest nice and high. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. The movement comes from your feet working, pushing the ground away. Exhale to forward fold. One more time just like that. So suction cup up the arch of your feet, inner thighs spiral behind, tailbone tucks under, belly button pulls in, and exhale to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat, stepping back to our plank. Still really active with the feet here, so exactly the same action as if you were standing up. Pushing the heels away, belly button to spine, puffing up the space between your shoulder blades. Trying to drag your hands back and your feet towards your hands so your front body starts to light up. keep holding it, just building a little bit of heat here. And dropping to your knees, keeping that core activation, shift your weight forward. Exhale, lowering all the way down to the mat, untucking your toes, rolling up, inhale to cobra, squeeze your elbows in, chest broad, exhale down. 2 more cobras, inhale to rise up, ground your feet into the mat, exhale down. 1 more cobra, inhale to open through your chest, come into your back bend, and exhale, pushing onto your knees, tucking your toes, broadening through your chest, pushing back to your downward facing dog. Just pedaling like your dog, making whatever movements you need to. Swaying your hips from side to side, maybe turning, looking under one arm, looking under the other arm. The first down dog of your practice, or any down dog of your practice if you want to, just inviting movement into it. We're going to inhale, look to the top of our mat, exhale to step forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to forward fold. Stepping your right foot back, dropping your right knee down to the earth. Inhale to sweep the arms up, coming into our low lunge. So imagining you could drag that left foot back and you'll feel your hamstrings of your left leg start to light up. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears, palms are spinning in. Bringing your hands through the heart center here. On an inhale, sending your chest over your leg, and exhale, twisting out to the left, hooking that right elbow. So making sure our torso isn't dumping down on that left leg. When I think about our right elbow going into our left knee, well just above our left knee, sorry, and our chest is moving away from our leg. Squeezing outer hips in here. Inhaling through the center, sweep your arms up, bringing your right hand down the back of your right leg, just coming into reverse there. Keeping that strong activation in your legs. Then placing your hands to the inside edge of your left foot, picking up your right foot, and we're going to walk round to the right, coming into a wide-legged forward fold on the right hand side. So toes are going to face in, heels are going to face out. Pretending your head is really heavy, letting your head drop down towards the mat. And just letting your weight just shift slightly into the ball of your feet. Tailbone, sit bones are shining up. Taking one more breath here. Then exhale, walking our hands back around to the front of the mat, spinning around, coming back into our low lunge. And if your block is handy, you're going to pick up your block and bring it with you. Placing your block into your right hand. Your right hand's going to come forward, your left hand is going to come behind, and you're going to come into a twist here. And you might want to have your block on the highest setting here. Your block is going to come to the outside edge of your left foot, so your pinky toe edge of your left foot, and your hand is going to come down. So coming into a side angle twist. Feeling that engagement of your arm against your leg and using that to open up a bit more. Squeezing that right glute in. Keeping those long breaths. And exhale to come out. Placing both hands down to frame that left foot. Pick up your back toes, stepping through to your standing splits. So engaging through that right hamstring to lift your right leg up. Finding that energy in your left foot, keeping that left leg really strong, lifting your left hip up nice and high. Taking one more breath. And exhale, dropping that right foot down, coming into your forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to forward fold. Place your left hand underneath your face, feeling your heart open to the right. Pulling that low tummy in, keep the side of your waist nice and long. Exhale to swap up. Right hand goes down, the left hand goes out to the left hand side. Then exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, step that left foot back, drop your back knee down. Inhaling, come up to your low lunge with your right leg out in front. So sending your tailbone down, allowing your waist to become really long, chest is nice and open. Active through the fingers, pulling your right heel back towards your left knee. So you're active through those hamstrings. Hands coming down to heart center, keeping that lovely length through your waist. Inhaling forward, exhaling, twisting out to the right. Again, not letting your body rest on that right leg. Thinking about collarbones moving away from one another. Keep squeezing that right hip in. Inhaling through the center, reach your arms up for one breath. Then exhale, left hand down the back of your left leg, just coming into a nice reverse low lunge. Opening through the left hip. Keep thinking about dragging that right heel back. Then exhale, hands are going to come to the inside edge of that right foot, pick up the back foot. We're going to walk our hands over to the left hand side, pigeon toe in, coming into your wide-legged forward fold on the other side. So focusing on, even if you've got a deep bend in your legs, focusing on that, your sit bones pivoting up towards the sky, while your weight just shifts slightly more into your toes. Taking one more breath. Then exhaling, walking your hands back round, coming back into your low lunge, picking up your block, placing it in your left hand as we reach our hands up overhead. Bringing left hand in front, right hand behind as we twist our chest open towards the right hand side. Tailbones nice and tucked. Then reaching that left hand as far forward as it can go, placing the block in your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot, twisting your heart open to the right hand side. Hips are squeezing in. That action of your forearm onto your quad is what's twisting you a little bit more. Then exhaling to pick up your back foot. Inhale to your standing splits. So hips are nice and square here and your back toes are facing down towards the earth. And you should be able to see your left foot, maybe your big toes and your left foot are just creeping behind your right leg. Being really strong to that right leg will give you more space to lift that left leg a little inch higher. Then exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, forward fold, stepping back to your plank. Finding that front body engagement. Inhale, shift shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, lowering all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, inhale to your cobra. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Just taking a couple of breaths here in our down dog. If you maybe lost your breath during that flow, just coming back to it. Sending that tailbone up towards the sky, reaching your hands away. Imagining you could tear your mat in half with your hands, so pulling them away from each other, pulling your feet away from each other, and you'll feel everything start to engage. Inhale to look forward, exhale, stepping forward to your forward fold. Inhale to reach your hands up, and exhale, sending your hips back and down, keeping the weight in your heels, coming down to your chair pose. So if you want, even imagining that there's a block in between your knees. Even bring your hands down to the outside edges of your knees and try and push your hands away. And bring your hands to the inside edges of your knees. Try and bring your knees together. So that is kind of the activation that you want in your legs. And your tailbone's going to kind of come down to pull your tummy up. Weight into your heels, and you should be able to see your toes here. Bringing your hands through the heart center, we're going to twist out towards the left hand side, hooking our right elbow. Making sure we're not leaning onto that left leg, and watching that your right knee isn't dipping too far forward here. Exhaling into your forward fold, straightening out your legs. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, just coming into a brief runner's lunge to find our base. Have your block handy beside you, and inhale, reach up to your high crescent lunge. Feeling those feet nice and active in the ground, spreading those toes. Then bringing your hands to your hips, we're going to straighten our left leg here. Inhaling, chest nice and broad as we fold over our left leg, and you might want to put your block just behind that left calf, coming into our wide pyramid. So even bring your hand to your left hip and think about tacking that left hip back. Squeezing our glutes. Really high on the ball of your right foot. And then you're going to spin on your back foot, so your foot's going to come down to 90 degrees, bend into that front leg, rising up to our warrior two. You might need to widen your stance maybe a little bit. Chest is nice and open here. Having your block still right-handed, that doesn't make sense. Having your block still handy. Inhale to reach forward, exhale to reverse your warrior. Right hand comes down your right leg. Reaching your left hand to the back of the room. Then inhale to come through, straightening that left leg. Maybe grabbing your block, reaching forward, waist nice and long, just like we did at the start, then placing your hand down, coming into your Trikonasana pose. So just like we did in our pyramid, tacking that left hip back. Both feet are active here, so pushing into that baby toe edge of your right foot, opening the chest up. Then bring your right hand down to our waist. We're just going to pop our right foot in just a couple of inches, just so we shorten our stance. Your block is going to come maybe like 6 inches in front of your big toe on your left foot. We're going to launch off that foot. We're going to come into a half moon. So your right toes are going to point towards the right hand side. Really active through both legs here. Our hips are opening up. We're having a nice external rotation in our right hip. And then if you want, you can lift your right hand off your waist. Gaze is just wherever is comfortable. Thinking about grounding that left foot into the earth. We're going to do a nice funky transition from this. So we're going to go for our half moon. And then we're going to come into a runner's twist, opening our chest out towards the left hand side. So deep bend in that left leg. Turn your right foot down towards the earth, land on the ball of your right foot, right hand comes down to the earth, open our heart, open to the left. So a nice runner's lunge twist. Hips are nice and square. Then bringing both hands down to frame that front foot, coming back up into our high crescent lunge. Almost like we're doing a rewind now. Hands are coming into heart center, leaning forward, twisting out towards the left, hooking our elbow. These twists, you start to be feeling more normal now. Then we're going to look down to our left big toe. start to shift our weight into our left foot, gliding forward, coming into our twisted chair at the front of the mat. Taking one more breath here. Then exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, then exhaling, stepping back to your downward facing dog or going through a quick vinyasa and coming into your plank. Shoulders over your wrists, exhale, lowering all the way down or halfway down to chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog, then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Inhale to look to front of the mat, exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale into halfway lift, exhale to forward fold. Inhale, push into the feet, active through the legs, reach your hands up. Then exhale, sending your hips back and down. You can bring your feet in a slightly narrower stance if that's more comfortable for you. I tend to keep mine hip distance, shifting the weight into your heels. Bum is down, back is nice and long, tailbones under, into our chair. Bring our hands to heart center, then twisting out to the right, hooking left elbow. This time making sure the left knee isn't tracking forward. Still active through the legs, so imagining you're pushing something out as much as you're pushing something in. Keeping our shoulders away from our ears. Then exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling to halfway, exhale, hands on your mat, stepping your left foot back, coming into a runner's lunge, find your base. Then reaching up into your high crescent lunge. Just having your block, again, just nearby. Just making sure our tailbone's tucked under in a high crescent lunge. So a nice tip to do that is really deeply bend through your left knee, tuck your tailbone under, then re-straighten that left leg. Bringing your hands down to your hips, straighten into that right leg, then folding over that right leg, coming into a wide pyramid. Block can come behind your right calf here, high up on the ball of your left foot. And if you want to, just bring your hand to your right hip here, thumb in the hip crease, and think about pulling that right hip back. Keeping your chest open, waist nice and long, belly to spine. Then spinning on the ball of your left foot, turning your left foot down to 90, bend into your right leg, windmill your hands up. Maybe widen your stance a bit, coming into your warrior two. So making sure your right hip is nice and tucked in. Then inhaling, just reaching forward, find that length in your waist, flipping your front palm, exhaling to reverse your warrior. Coming back through to center, straightening that front leg. Think about sending both hips to the back of the room as you reach your arms forward, and then they can't go forward anymore. Bringing your hands down to your shin or down to a block, coming into your Trikonasana pose or triangle pose. Chest opens to the left, gaze is just wherever is comfortable. Really strong through your legs here. Left hand's going to come to your hip. It's going to hop that left foot in just a couple of inches. Your block is going to come a couple of inches in front of your right foot, and then you're going to glide forward. So just lightly shifting your weight into that front leg. The position of your toes and your feet are going to stay exactly the same in the left foot. So left foot in line with your hips. Toes are spiraling out towards the left hand side. The more you ground into that right leg, the more stable the pose will be. And then maybe rising your left hand if you wish, or keeping it on your hips. So in a half moon shape here. So imagine you could stamp the wall with your left foot behind you. Spreading your left toes really wide. So we rotate our hip out towards the side. we're going to come into that twisted runner's lunge again. So your left hand's going to come down, you're going to open our chest out towards the right. So spinning our toes down towards the ground, deep bend in that right knee, landing nice and softly, left hand down, right hand up, coming into our twisted runner's lunge. Hands are going to come down to frame your front foot, rising up, coming into our high crescent lunge again. Hands through the heart center. You know where we're going, reaching your chest forward, twisting over to the right. Active resistance with your body here to allow you to twist that bit deeper. Ooh. And bringing your gaze down to your right big toe. Then as softly and as elegantly as I'm sure you will do, picking up that left foot, stepping forward into our twisted chair at the front of the mat. Then exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling, stepping back to your plank and back to your downward facing dog, or go running through a vinyasa if you wish. So inhale, shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, hugging it in halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, up to your up dog. Knees and hips are lifted, turning on your toes, back to your downward facing dog. And if you wish to take child's pose, you can here. So we're just going to give you for about 5 breaths. So just listen to what your body's telling you. If you feel like you need a rest, take a rest. We have another flow to go through before we start to slow things down. So even taking this opportunity, not just to rest your body, but quickly run through the things that we've talked about in class today. We're twisting from our thoracic spine, we're pulling our belly button towards our spine. We're keeping our waist long, chest is nice and open. If you're in child's pose, just making your way back to downward facing dog for a breath or two. We're going to inhale to look to the front of our mat, exhale, step forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhale to sweep our arms all the way up to standing. Exhale, coming back into that chair pose. So I talked about how it was almost like we were rewinding. We're going to do almost like a rewind again. It's a really active legs here. Your legs are really strong in order for you to twist your body around. So hands through the heart center. Twisting out towards the left, hooking your right elbow. Shifting your weight into your left foot, coming to stand on your tippy toes of your right foot here. And then we're going to step all the way back to high crescent lunge, but take it nice and slowly. So we're just going to pick up our right foot, so our heel comes towards our bum, then starting to straight our right leg out, then coming into our twisted high crescent lunge. Taking one more breath, and exhale, twisting out to our warrior two, facing the right hand side. Deep bend in that front leg, grounding down through that back leg. And just getting your block. And our block is going to go in our right hand. We're going to twist our body round, straightening into that left leg. Left hand is going to come to our left hip. So we're going to come into a twisted Chittick-Sinclair here. So reaching that right arm really far in front, block is going to come to the outer edge of your right foot. Right hand comes to rest on the block. I want you to just keep your hand on your left hip here. You're going to inhale, then on your exhale you're going to twist out towards the left hand side. Tacking that left hip back, then maybe lifting your left arm up. Come into your twisted Trikonasana. And then if you wish, you can stay here, or hopping that back foot in a couple of inches, lifting your back foot, ooh, and coming into your twisted half moon. So still trying to think about your toes on your right foot, opening towards the right hand side. You'll be more restricted because you're in a twist. Inhaling here, then exhaling, dropping your foot back, coming into your reversed warrior. Exhale, windmilling your hands back down to the earth, stepping back to your plank, shifting your weight over your wrists, shoulders all the way down to the mat, untucking your toes. Inhale to halfway, squeeze your elbows. Exhale, push back to your downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward, exhale, stepping to your forward fold. So we're going to do that again on the other side. If you want to stay in your twisted Trikonasana, or if you want to come to your twisted half moon, whatever you wish to do. So inhale to halfway, exhale to fold it in. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, drop the hips back, coming into our chair. Last chair of the practice, I promise. Hands to heart center, twisting out to the right. We're going to step back to our high crescent lunge. If you need to take loads of steps, if you fall out, that's absolutely fine, you're human. Coming up onto the tippy toe of your left foot, really squeezing that right hip in. Maybe lifting your left heel up to your bum. Finding your balance there. Start to straighten that left leg out. Then landing down in your twisted high crescent lunge. And then we're going to sweep our arms round. So we're going to come into warrior two, facing the left hand side. So back foot spins round to 90, opening out to the left hand side, and just grabbing your block and taking it with you. Pushing into your front leg, starting to straighten it. Block is in your left hand here. Our left hand's going to come forward, right hand's going to come to your hip. Back foot remains at 90, reaching our left arm forward, waist nice and long. Block comes to the outside edge of your left foot, hand comes to your block. So just finding this position here, and running through all those actions, pulling your belly to spine, keeping your right hand where it is, twisting out to the right hand side. Then maybe lifting your right hand up to your twisted Trikonasana. Grinding down to that back foot, right hip's pulling back, opening through your chest. Then staying here, or if you wish to move into your twisted half moon, bring your right hand back down to your hip. Block is going to come in front of your foot, picking up that back foot, still spinning your toes out to the left hand side, keeping your right hand where it is, and then start to slowly open your chest. Oh, see, you and I fall over. Open your chest out towards the right hand side. Do your twisted half moon, keep building that belly to spine. And you'll feel slowly that you can start to twist round to the right gradually more. Team, one more inhale, then exhale, slowly dropping back, coming into your reverse warrior two. Then exhale, stepping back to your plank. Inhaling, shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lowering all the way down to the mat, untucking your toes. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale, pushing back to your child's pose. Just taking some deep breaths here. Allowing your spine to nice and neutralize after all that twisting. Allowing your hamstrings and your inner thighs to just relax. Then slowly just making your way back to downward facing dog. Looking to the front of your mat and stepping forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale to halfway, shoulders in line with hips. Exhale to forward fold, pushing into your feet. Inhale to rise up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands through the heart center. We're going to pick up our right leg here, just on our pinky toes, and open our hip out towards the right hand side, just keeping your hands on your hips. Then staying like this, and you're placing your right foot to your inner calf, or placing your right foot to your inner thigh. Just coming into a nice tree pose. So hands are at heart center. Pushing our right foot into our left thigh and resisting the back, feeling our left foot dance about. And then if you wish to increase your side stretch here, just placing your right hand on your right knee, left hand up overhead, maybe just leaning slightly over to the right hand side. It's almost like your right leg is a shelf for your right arm. Reaching that left hand away from your left hip. And then coming through the center, dropping that right leg down, just giving your left leg a little shake. Then spinning on the toes of your left leg as you open our left leg out to the side. Placing your left foot to your inner leg, so in your calf or the inner thigh, just try not to place it on your knee. It's not a very stable way of using your knee joint. Hands to your hips as you find that stability, squeezing that right glute in and bringing your hands through the heart center. Just finding some stability, finding a focus point to put your gaze onto. Then bringing your left hand, if you wish, just onto your left leg, reaching that right hand up overhead, and maybe leaning out towards the left hand side. Moving the hip and the shoulder away from one another. And coming through the center, hands back through the heart center, and exhale, bringing your foot down. Reaching your hands up, one big breath. Then exhaling to forward fold. And then just dropping down to find a seat. Bringing both feet out in front. You're going to pick up your right leg and just cross so that your right knee is stacked on top of your left knee here. So you can stay exactly like this, or you can bring your left heel towards your right bum. So stay with the left leg straight, or you bring your left heel in towards your right bum. So your knees are kind of stacked on top of one another. So it's almost like a mirror image down the middle of your legs. Keep grinding that right hip down, and then just start to fold over your legs here. So we've got, this is called cow face. Cow as in C-O-W. I know my accent means I say it weird. But cow face pose. So full cow face pose, we would have our arms in that Gomukhasana shape, but we haven't really opened our shoulders enough, so we'll just work with our legs. So knees are stacked on top of one another. Keep your feet kind of active here, and ground your right hip down. Maybe you're starting to feel your breath kind of chill out a little bit. And then walking your feet back if you folded over, just coming out of it the way you went in, so straighten that left leg and then bring both legs out in front. And this time we're going to pick up our left leg. So left heel comes towards your right hip as you stack left knee on top of right knee. Now you can stay here and forward fold if you wish, or you can go a little bit deeper, so you might need to just shimmy yourself a little bit. Bring your right heel towards your left bum. So knees are stacked. I say feet are like a mirror image, so they should be kind of lined up a bit. Finding a nice long spine here and then folding over. This time you'll feel it in your left hip. And even though we are coming into the kind of final stages of our practice. We're giving ourselves some integrating postures. We still want to find a little bit of openness. We don't want to completely dump ourselves down just yet. So we still want to keep a nice open chest here. Knowing that if the ground is ever too far away from you, you can always grab a block. That's what blocks are there for. They're basically there to bring the ground up. Unless I'm evil and I use them to work the core. If you were with us last week, you might agree. Now we all know the core is very important. And then just slowly lifting your chest if you came down into that, straightening that right leg and then straighten that left leg out in front. Then just placing your feet onto the mat and then just letting your knees drop out to one side and drop out to the other. Just do that a couple of times, windshield wiper our legs. Then bringing the soles of your feet together. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana fold. So just bringing your feet as close as feels comfortable to your body. Then grabbing onto your toes or the inner arches or grabbing onto your ankles, just wherever you can find it that you can sustain it. And if you feel like this is enough for you for your inner hips, that's fine. And if you want to, just start to, the way I find it is grabbing onto like my leg or something and then just letting my elbows drop back, and that keeps my chest nice open. Instead of sending your elbows out to the side, you close off your chest. Think about spiraling your biceps forward, almost as if you were coming into chaturanga, bending your elbows back, keeping your chest nice and open here. Almost think more about bringing your tummy towards your heels instead of like your face towards your feet. Keeps our spine nice and active as well. Breathing deeply into our tummy here will actually increase the openness in our hips. So sending your breath, instead of out the top of your chest, sending your breath down to your tummy. Expanding through your stomach, and you'll feel your hip flexors open. I don't know the anatomical reason as to why. If you breathe into your tummy, you're feeling your hip flexors, but you just do. Maybe that's my homework for this week. So again, it's just using the body with itself to just create that resistance. So we used our body with itself to create that resistance, allow us to twist deeper this morning, sorry. Taking one more breath there. Then exhale, just lifting your chest if you did, and then we're going to give ourselves a little hand here, so just bringing your hands to the outside edge of your knees, just bringing them in, and then just giving yourself a quick cuddle, letting your head drop down to your knees and be swaying from side to side. Then we're going to make our way down to our back. Just have your block handy. If you're using a book, maybe just have a little bit of padding to go on top of your book, because it can be a bit pinchy on our lower back. Bringing our feet to rest on our mat, just so we can just about tickle our ankles. Hands are coming either side like a runway. Knees are hip width distance apart. And we're just going to tuck our tailbone under, push into our feet. Think about dragging your heels towards your shoulders, just coming into a bridge pose here. So pulling tummy towards your spine, hips are up nice and high, engaging your hamstrings and your glutes. Maybe lift that a little bit higher. You think about squeezing in as much as you're pushing out, so just like we did in our chair pose. Taking one more breath, then exhaling to uncurl the spine down to the earth. And then this time we're going to come into our bridge, but it's going to be nice and supported. So just bringing it to whichever height you wish, whichever height you feel your back is open for today. So again, inhale, push the feet, dragging the heels back towards your bum, and then sliding the block underneath your back, just to your sacrum, so a nice flat spot, base at the top of your bum, right at the base of your spine, spinning your palms up towards the ceiling. Letting your hips be really heavy on that block. Maybe starting to close down your eyes as we're coming into those final stages. And if you wish to find a little bit more opening in your hips, you can just straighten those legs out. Coming into a supported fish, letting your feet just drop out to the side here. And if you straightened out your legs, just re-bending them back into your bridge. And then just lifting your hips off the block. We're just going to turn, if you had your block on a high setting, just turn your block so it's on the lowest setting. But keeping it exactly that same position, just right at the top of your bum. And then we're going to lift our feet up towards the ceiling. And just being a little bit more restorative with our legs here. So not flexing our toes or bending our knees. Just having a nice natural bend in our feet, our toes, our wrists, or not our wrists, our ankles underneath. Just a nice inversion to finish off our practice. If shoulder stand is in your practice and you wish to take it, you can go on ahead. I'm just going to do a supported shoulder stand instead. There's nothing wrong with doing shoulder stand, it just doesn't feel good in my body, so I just don't do it. Feeling, maybe there's a nice little tingly feeling in your legs as you lie with them up towards the sky. We worked hard on our legs today, we balanced with them, we straightened them, we flexed them. Worked into our hips, our hamstrings, our ankles. Just feeling all that energy that we took up from the ground in order to find our strong base, our strong foundation in our feet. Just letting that energy drain down our legs. Feeling it from our toes down to our ankles, down our calves, all around our knees, our hamstrings, our quads, and then sinking back into our hips and into the earth. And just really slowly starting to bend your legs a little bit. And then just bringing your feet down onto the earth. Pushing your feet down just so you can slide that block. Then grabbing your blanket if you wish for your Shavasana, starting to straighten your legs out. Creating space for your hips here. And then we're going to come into slightly more nourishing Shavasana. So just bringing your right hand onto your belly, just below your belly button. Left hand just onto your heart. And then together as a group, we're going to breathe deeply into our belly, into our chest. Then exhale out a sigh. Letting everything melt down into the mat. Letting our shoulders, our hips, our ankles, everything just sink down. So just find a few moments of rest and a few moments of peace. Knowing there's no expectations. Taking some deep breaths in your Shavasana.